Hi folks, it's Ron Crider again. It is September the 22nd, 2017, and I've been asked to do another little seminar on recording on Audacity. Apparently the last ones I did were pretty quick, and some of you didn't quite get what we were doing. So I'm going to start from the beginning, and I'll try to go slow. If you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me. You want to make sure that to begin with, if you look up here where I'm circling my mouse, you'll notice that it says the microphone, the AT2020 is connected, and that's what you want connected. If you look up here, you have a choice of the built-in microphone on this particular computer or this microphone, the AT2020. That's one we want to use. Now, if you watch where I move my mouse up here, when I move the mouse up to the top there, it shows that my voice level is recording, and it's recording only on the left side. And this is exactly what we want to do. Now, in this particular case, we're recording in mono, but you could also move your mouse over here to the right and change it to recording in stereo. And if we do that, now we click over here, you'll notice my voice is on both the left and the right channel. So you see that again, that's right next to where you select the microphone, mono or stereo. So in this particular case, this time we'll start recording in stereo. I'm going to push the record button. Now you'll see my level of my recording. And this level is very good. It's exactly the way it's supposed to be. If I say something really loud, see how that went up really high? You don't want that to get way up there in the top. That's not good. You want to kind of keep it pretty much where it is. Now you can adjust the level to make sure that it's recording the way you want it to, but this is a good level for recording. You'll also notice some little spots in here, like right here is something that could be edited out. Here's another little piece that could be edited out. And I want to remind you, when you're recording something, and if you make a couple of mistakes, it's okay. Just keep right on going and then edit out those mistakes. And I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a second. So I'm going to stop the recording. Now, if you look down here at the bottom of the screen, here's a slider that will let you slide this recording all the way back to the very beginning, which I have now done. Now it's back at the beginning, and I'm going to start right here. I'll start right here, and doing so. Now you'll see my level of my recording, and this level is very good. It's exactly okay. So I want to eliminate this stuff in the very, very beginning. So in order to do so, I'm going to left click, and when I left click, I will come up here to these little scissors and hit the scissors button, and when I do so, I've just removed that piece of audio. Now I'm going to play it again. See my level of my recording. Now here you notice in this little spot right here, you heard me breathe. Well, when you're making a final recording and you want it to sound really good, you might not want to have that breath in there. So you can eliminate it by doing what I'm doing right now and cutting it out by just hitting the cut bar. Or you can go up here to generate, right above here, and when you hit generate and hit silence, it's going to, and then you hit OK, it's going to eliminate that breath, but it's also going to still leave the space there, which is okay. My recording, and this level is very good. It's exactly the way it's supposed to be. If I say, and once again, when I got over here, there was a little breath there, and we're talking about being very persnickety here about how this thing works. But in this particular case, again, I'm going to go up to generate, and I'm going to hit silence, and when I do so, I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to take that little breath out there, but not miss. I say something really loud, see how that went up really high? You don't want that to get way up there in the top. That's not good. And again, I'm going to go over here. Now, you can see, you'll start to be able to see, you can actually make this bigger. Let's do this. I can make this even bigger so you can get a bigger view of what's going on by just grabbing it left and see the little lines here. If you left click, hold that down, you can make it much bigger, or you can make it smaller. Now, in this particular case, I made it bigger so I can see it. Now, after I've done that, I can go over here and I can snip out this little piece of audio. Now, I'm going to just take that one out completely. Now that will tighten it up, and it will play one right after the other. That's not good. You want to kind of keep it pretty much where it is. adjust the level to make sure that it's recording the way you want it to, but this is a good... And once again, you notice there was a little bit of breathing in here. In this particular case, I want to kind of keep that there, but I don't want the breathing there, so I'm going to again go up to generate. I'm going to generate silence, so there won't be anything there. We'll remove it. The spacing will stay the same, but it's gone. Now let's play it again now through here.
The way you want it to, but this is a good level for recording. You'll also note
I'm going to just take this one out. There's no reason to have that one there. Like I say, I'm being pretty persnickety about the way we're doing this, but you'll find that there's a reason to do this, because if you have a 60-second spot and you've recorded it and you have got 64 seconds, removing a lot of this stuff will be able to get it down to be 60 seconds.
Notice some little spots in here, like right here is something that could be edited out. Here's another little piece that could be edited out. And I want to remind you, when you're recording something, and if you make a couple of mistakes, it's okay. Just keep right on going.
I'm going to take that out. I'm going to take out, if you make a couple of mistakes, just keep right on going.
Make a couple of mistakes, it's okay. Just keep right on going.
Okay, so we don't want that in there now, just because I'm using this as a demonstration, and I'm going to make that go away as well by going to the scissors and cutting that out. Now what do we have here left?
And then edit.
Okay, well then if you, we don't want that in there. Then if you, so we're going to take that out. And in doing so, we'll go over here to the the scissors, and we'll cut that out. There we go.
And I want to remind you, when you're recording something, and then edit out those mistakes. And I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a second. So,
in just a second, and then we don't need any of the rest of this stuff because it doesn't even make sense. So we're going to cut that out. Hit the cut bar, and it's done. Again, in order to go back to the beginning of where you are, the very, very beginning of what you recorded, take your mouse, left click, left hold, and you can move this back and forth. So now let's go back to the very beginning. We're going to hit the play button.
Now you'll see my level of my recording, and this level is very good. It's exactly the way it's supposed to be. If I say something really loud, see how that went up really high?
Okay. Once again, that is how we do that part of it. Now let's just suppose you want to add some music into this particular piece of this little spot you've done. So you would go to File and then import audio. Click on that. Now you're going to have to know where your audio lives. And in my particular case, it lives in a file called Production. And so in this production file, there is audio here, and I'm going to just click on this particular one and open that up. And when I do so, voila, there it is. Now you'll notice that this audio is 4 minutes long, but my little spot there is only 30 seconds long, and this is 4 minutes long, so it's way too long. So we certainly don't want all of that. So I'm going to just carelessly remove that much audio from it. I'm going to cut that out right now. It's not going to affect the original one, but it's going to cut that out. Now, it's still 1 minute and 15 seconds too long, so I'm going to have to take out a little bit more in here in order to get it down to the right length to be able to fit in. I'm going to even take some more out, get it down to, because I need to get it, it needs to fit right in there. So now I want to make this bigger so I can see this a little bit better. In order to make it bigger, go up here to the plus sign, zoom in, and that's going to make it expand everything that we're doing. Now you can see that this is longer than my my audio, but that may be okay if we want this to be 50 seconds long. So if we want it to be 50 seconds long, then maybe we want the voice up here to be kind of in the middle of that. And if you want to slide the voice back and forth, then all you need to do is go up here and see this little left-right arrow, get that, and move him over a little bit like so. Okay, now we've kind of centered the voice in there. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we have to turn it off. So we turn that arrow off because we don't want that lit. Go up here and click the selection tool, click it off. And I'm going to go back to the beginning and show you what we've accomplished so far.
Now you'll see my level of my recording, and this level is very good. It's exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Now there's a little bit of a problem here, and that music is going to end up being too loud in the final product. So we're going to cut this music back to about -7. So when I start it over again,
now you'll see my level of my recording, and this level is very good. It's exactly the way it's supposed to be. If I say something really loud, see how that went up really high? You don't want that to get way up.
So now we put these two together. Now, if we want this, the music's going to fade out here at the end. But if we wanted it to fade out at exactly where the voice faded out, you could do what I'm doing right now. And notice how I'm clicking on left click, and go down to right where that yellow line is that came up and down there. And then I can go up here and I can hit Effect, and I can hit Fade Out. There's all sorts of things you can do up here. I'm going to hit Fade Out. Now it's going to fade out. Now you can see it's faded out. And then I can go in here and I can cut this out like I just did there. Now now we made it just 40 seconds long. Now let's slide the voice up here back a little bit so that it's going to fit in there just a little bit better. Now we made something that, as you can see, is a little bit over 40 seconds long. If you come down here to the bottom of the screen, it'll tell you that it's 41 seconds. Well, that's still a little bit too much, so we don't want that. We want this to be exactly 40 seconds. So turn this off, and let's fade it down at exactly 40 seconds. So left click and bring it over to exactly where you see the 40 up top. See how it's grayed out up there at the top? Take that, Effect, and Fade Out. We're going to find the fade out part. Hit that. Say OK. Now it's going to be exactly 40 seconds long. We're going to cut that out. I'm going to go with the scissors and cut that out. If we look down here, it's pretty close. It's 39.6 seconds. It's almost 40 seconds. And now when we play it, this is what you're going to hear.
Now you'll see my level of my recording, and this level is very good. It's exactly the way it's supposed to be. If I say something really loud, see how that went up really high? You don't want that to get way up there.
Now let's talk about how we're going to finish this. So it's finished now. We go to File, and we don't want to save this project. We'll talk about save another day. But we want to export this project. So we want to export this audio, what we just recorded. So we hit Export, and then we're going to put it into production, and we're going to call this test number. We're going to call it test number 1, and we're keeping it in our production folder as test number 1. I hit Save. Hit that one more time. Now this happens to be the name of the song that was in there, but I can change that and say it's Ron Crider who was doing this. Okay, Ron Crider. And hit OK. And it is now saved. Now we can make all this go away. And let's go back up here to the beginning and go to Open. Let's open this up and see what we did. And we're going to go to Production, because that's where we parked it. And this is Test. This is the one we just did. So we'll click on that and left click on it to open it. And there it is. And this is what we just did.
Now you'll see my level of my recording. And this level is very good. It's exactly the way it's supposed to be. If I say something really loud, see how that went up?
Okay, so that is how we have done our first recording. You can go down here to the edit metadata, and you'll see it says Ron Crider up here, artist name. That's what we put in before. Now, we could change the track name and all these things if we wanted to and then resave it. But this is a finished WAV file. Now, in most of the things that we do for the Simian automation system, we do everything in WAV. On another video, I'm going to show you how to do things in WAV and then convert them over to MP3 files, because it's easier to email an MP3 file than a WAV file. However, you do not want to record an MP3 and then do a lot of editing. Each time you edit an MP3 file, it gets degraded by one generation and it starts not sounding good after you've done a number of edits. You can edit many times when you're editing WAV files, but you cannot do that when you're editing MP3 files. So the next video will talk about editing an MP3 file. Hopefully you'll understand what we're doing and you'll have a good idea. If you don't, please feel free to send me an email, roncrider@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to do another video if I need to and show you how we have done just what we did here. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.